In these tough times, good charities are struggling to help the needy because fewer people are in a position to give. But several Bay Area companies are questioning whether it's a good idea to give at all because of who one local organization has picking up their donations. I-Team Chief Investigator Alan Cohn has the story.
Chuck Bothy, the owner of Sefner Rock and Gravel, served in Vietnam and has never forgotten his fellow vets.
Being a veteran, I feel like obligated that I'm more fortunate than some of them, and sure, you know, I mean, I feel like I should donate.
These exact same receipts.
But after receiving an appeal over the phone from a Colonel Hall with the Veterans Care Program, he and his daughter Denise were alarmed about who showed up a few weeks ago to pick up their $100 check. Two men in this beat-up Cadillac.
Is this the man that came to your business?
Yes, sir, that's him.
Colonel Hall, Bothy says, admitted his real name is Charles Bagley. And when his daughter did a quick Google search, she discovered, and court records confirm, Bagley was convicted of impersonating a police officer and fraud in a 1998 St. Petersburg charity scam.
He was trying to rush us, telling us to hurry up, that he had about 14 more stops to make.
And waiting in the car, Robert Gagno, convicted on federal mail fraud charges connected to a 2003 scam at another charity.
Well, I do have some conviction that is true.
Bothy kicked the two men off his property, but the I-Team traced Gagno back to the Newport Richey headquarters of the Veterans Care Fund, which happens to be this apartment.
So if you were convicted of these types of crimes, why would you go back into similar business?
I didn't know about that law.
That law requires charities to disclose to the state whether any employees have been convicted of a felony involving fraud, theft, larceny, or any crime arising from raising money for a charity.
I have provided for children in shelters and struggling families for 15 years.
Since the mid-90s, Kathy Klotz has run the Veterans Care Program and 5 other programs the two men were collecting for out of her apartment. According to registration documents she filed with the state last year, just about half of the nearly $50,000 she took in went to program services.
Then when you associate with somebody like Mr. Gagno, who has such serious felony convictions while raising money supposedly for charitable purposes, doesn't that kind of raise a question?
And I understand that, and I see where you're coming from.
In the statement to the I-Team, a state spokesman says charities definitely have a responsibility to report who is a paid employee and who may be soliciting contributions on their behalf. However, Kevin Jackson, chief investigator for Hillsborough County's Consumer Protection Agency, doesn't expect the state will do much of anything.
Charities are not regulated from the federal level, and most agencies don't necessarily regulate them.
As for Kathy Klotz, she claims to be unaware Charles Bagley, alias Colonel Hall, was even working for her.
Charles Bagley does not have anything to do with this organization.
But that's not what the people at this Ruskin company say.
How does he identify himself?
The Colonel.
We showed Bagley and Gagno's mugshots to these business owners.
I'm really angry. I would like to...
Like to what?
Punch his lights out.
Here's another thing that's not being disclosed to those giving money. Their donations are not tax deductible because the organization isn't recognized by the IRS as a 501c3. Kathy Klotz says she fears if donors were told that, they wouldn't give. I'm I-Team Chief Investigator Alan Cohn, ABC Action News.
And if you have a story you'd like the I-Team to look into, you can just send them an email to iteam@abcactionnews.com.